What's going on, Broncos country? Welcome to another edition of Broncos Daily with your host, Kurt Valenti. You want Bronco talk? You want Broncos rumors? You want the latest Bronco news? Make sure you subscribe to Broncos Daily. And also, please comment throughout our videos, and I will get to your comments on another edition of Broncos Daily. But Combine has come and gone, and the Broncos obviously are in the news, right? Free agency 1 week away, right? It's less than 1 week away now. We've been seeing some trades in the NFL. We will get to that. Some Broncos related, some not, but some are. But I want to get into a little bit today about the running back class in this NFL draft, right? The Denver Broncos, obviously, we know, met with a lot of linebackers, met with a lot of tight ends, and they also met with a lot of running backs. Now, when we talk about running backs in this draft, obviously Jeremiah Love is above and beyond. Reading some reports today, they're saying they don't think he gets past number 5. Possibility to Arizona at number 3. So can we just cross him off the list? I mean, listen, that's our dream player, but it's nearly impossible the Broncos are going to get up from 30, or he's going to slip anywhere, past 10 to even have a shot to become a Bronco. So we can dream, but just reality, that's not going to happen. So the Denver Broncos met with a couple of running backs, and I want to get into somebody else I like in this year's draft class. But Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love's teammate in Notre Dame, 5'11", 210. I believe easily the second best running back in this draft. Power and speed, nose for the end zone, scored a lot of touchdowns, basically as a backup to Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, right? Elusive though. I love the combination of power and speed. And don't be surprised, Broncos country, don't be surprised if this is our pick at number 30. And I know what people say, oh, it's a little too early for him. I don't believe that. I've never believed that. If you love a player, go get him. Okay? Well, you can't take him in the first. He's got to be a second-round pick. Who said that? Who made that rule? I don't believe in that. I think, if you love the player, and if this player can help you, and boy, would Jadarian Price help us, I would go get him. So, again, right now, draft-wise, he is my absolute number one. Again, Jeremiah Love, we're not going to see him. But the Broncos met with him. Price said he had a good conversation with the Broncos, so something to look forward to. What do you guys think? Do you like Jeremiah? Do you like Jadarian Price? How would he come? How would you match him with R.J. Harvey? Would you still draft him and do something in free agency? So again, that's a guy. I don't know if we see him, in the 60s in the second round. He's probably not going to last. So if we do want him, we either have to pick him at 30, which I don't have a problem with, or move up big time in that second round to go get him. But, right now, again, not my first choice of how I want to get running backs in the offseason, right? Because I want to do something in free agency. We're going to get to that again. But draft-wise, the Broncos met with Jadarian Price. I like him. I think he would be a great fit for the Broncos. They also met with Jonah Coleman from Washington. Little bigger, 5'9", 220. He's a 3-down potential back. Good in the pass blocking, which is really big for the Sean Payton offense, now Davis Webb offense. But they did meet with Coleman from Washington. They also met with Emmett Johnson from Nebraska, 5'11", 200. He's more of an explosive running back. I don't know how good between the tackles, and again, it's why we have to address that no matter what else we want to do in the draft. But when you talk about more of a home run hitter, Emmett Johnson from Nebraska is another candidate. Guy I love is Mike Washington out of Arkansas, and we saw what he did with his 40, and his combine was off the charts. How high does he go? Does the combine with these numbers push him up now? Again, second round, third round. I don't know. Like these running backs go. Last year we looked at R.J. Harvey. He was supposed to be a third round running back. We wound up taking him in the second round. A lot of times now with the running back position coming back, it seems like running backs are getting drafted a round higher than what they're supposed to go. So does Washington go now in the second as opposed to the third? I don't believe he'll be a first rounder. Again, I think it'll be Love and Price, and probably that's it, unless somebody loves Washington. But I don't think you're going to see him at 60 also. So those are I'm not sure if the Broncos met with Washington. It was more Price, Coleman, and Johnson. Broncos probably obviously have their eyes on Washington. Everybody does, especially after those combine workouts. But what do you guys think? Any of these guys, really excite you if you guys could draft them? Would you still rather do the free agent route, the trade route? Just let me know, Broncos country. Let me know what you guys think of these running backs that the Broncos met. And, do you want to draft or do you want to stay with the free agency? Talking about trade scenarios. One of the players that I mentioned here on this pod and a lot of other Bronco outlets that were reporting and some, national reporters that kind of, linked the Broncos to him a little bit is off the board. David Montgomery today was traded from the Detroit Lions to the Houston Texans. Detroit gets a 4th round pick this year, a 7th round pick next year, and an offensive lineman shrugs from the Houston Texans. Montgomery is a guy I did say here I would be intrigued by him, but also with, a Travis Etienne, with Montgomery and Harvey. I don't know if Montgomery could have just been a legit number 1 running back. He wasn't in Detroit. He worked great with Gibbs. But listen, we all know Gibbs, he's going to get paid, and deservingly so. He's one of the best running backs in the league. But Montgomery was a guy that we kind of needed, like a 3rd and 1, a 4th and 1, a short down back, a guy who could catch the ball out of the backfield. He would have been nice for the Broncos. But I gotta say, it was a little steep, 4th round, a 7th round, and an offensive lineman. That's a lot, I think we can go in a different direction. Again, I think free agency is, for the running back, is the way we want to go. I'll say it again. Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, Algier, right? Those guys are available. Travis Etienne, those guys are available. It's not going to cost us anything but money. No assets, no draft picks, no players. It's straight money. We have a lot of money. Let's go get our running back like that. Again, I'll say it again, a week out from free agency. Give me Travis Etienne, J.K. Dobbins, and R.J. Harvey. That is a Super Bowl running back room. That is a room where no more BS. We will run the ball, right? We will get short yardages. We'll get big plays. We're going to get the pass game. That's what I want. And I think we can do that. I really do. I think you got to sell Dobbins on being the 1B. And, hey, injuries don't lie. We can't just bring him back and say, you're our running back 1. It doesn't work. It never works with him because of his injuries. But I love the player. But I want insurance with him. Go get me Travis Etienne or Breece Hall or Walker, but give me Etienne. Again, Walker, and I don't know if they're going to be available. They're probably going to get tagged. Give me Etienne with Dobbins and R.J. Harvey, and let's go. I'm sorry, that's one of the best running back rooms in the league. We have a really good offensive line. Let's go. That's what I want. What's your thoughts on it? But it will not be David Montgomery, traded from Detroit to Houston, so he will not be a Denver Bronco. And listen, we got to look elsewhere. But you know what? There's a lot of players available in this running back class this year in free agency. We got the draft, and we got R.J. Harvey. But again, this room has to be upgraded. It will be upgraded, but it just will not be David Montgomery. Getting off the free agency topics, one thing that came out last week, and I know I didn't do on the podcast with a bunch of information coming out from the combine and stuff. I didn't get to it, but I want to still get to it, was the NFLPA grades, the report cards that came out. They grade everything in the organization, and the Denver Broncos got an overall rank of number 10. There was a couple surprises, a couple ones where you can't be shocked. So I just want to read through them real quick, and please leave me your comments. Do you agree with any of them? What are your thoughts on that? So treatment of families got a B. Home game field got an A. Again, we talked about this a couple times. The Denver Broncos, and especially Greg Penner, has dished out a lot of money, shelled out a lot of money to fix that field a couple of times. So we know that home field, game field now is an A. Just wait until you see this new stadium in 2031. I think that'll always be an A. Food dining area A. Nutritionist, dietitian B+. Locker room D. Not a surprise to a lot of people. It's old. It's got to get, renovated. We'll see what they do, before with the new stadium. I mean, how much are they going to go all out and fix this before the new stadium comes out? But something has to get done. A lot of people do say it's just an older locker room. So, again, nothing like alarming with that. That was probably expected. Training room A-. Training staff A, very important. When you have a training staff, you have to lean on it for injuries, just getting you ready, getting you in shape, and to get an A, that's big time. Weight room A, again, another thing very important. You see, free agents and people who want to come to the Broncos and, hey, what's the weight room? Listen, that matters. That stuff matters, right? So to get an A in that, I think is big for us too. Strength coaches A, position coaches B. And that was pretty much taken care of. Some positional coaches did lose their jobs. We'll have some new ones this year. But a little alarming that it did get a B. Offensive coordinator, A-. Even that's Joe Lombardi. He is not here. He will not be here this year, but he still did get an A-. Defensive coordinator, A. Special teams coordinator, A-. Team travel, A-. That a little shocking, right? Because you would think, again, Walton Penner's, the money, they would take care of that. And, let's see what this grade is next year. I bet you that bumps up a little to an A. Okay. Head coach, Sean Payton, B. A little shocking for me. I know he's a, tough cookie and hard, but listen, you hear a lot of players that say this guy changed the culture. He turned this around. He's a huge reason why this team went from a mess a couple years ago to on the doorsteps of Super Bowl 60 this year. 14 wins, a division championship, first one since 2015. And he got a B. Again, wonder how he feels about that. But, what do you guys think? Do you think, are you a little shocked by that? I am. It's probably, besides the D, it's one of the lower scores out of everything here. So, again, that one surprised me a little bit. Again, I'm taking him. There's not many coaches in the NFL. If any, I'm taking over Sean Payton. He can win. He's a winner. He gets things done. So I personally don't care about the grade. It could be like, hey, he's a tough, on these players, and maybe that's why they get graded out like that. But listen, there's not many, if any, that I'm taking over Sean. General manager George Payton, A. That's big. We talked about his possible extension, and how he extended, and he's been taking care of the Denver Bronco players. So that was nice to hear that. Team ownership, A+. And I think that is why when we talk about a destination, the Denver Broncos are going to be a major destination. When you have ownership that is willing to, we saw it with Pat Bowlen when he was around, that is willing to do anything to win, to take care of their players, to do, to put in their money, to spend money. I think it's important. I think it's a big time grade. I think it's what's going to be huge in free agency. I think it has already. But I think the Penner Walton Penner group deserves the A+, and I think they're a huge reason why it's a big time destination, Denver Broncos. So, and again, the overall rank 10. What's your comments on it? Again, besides Sean, I'm not shocked at anything. The locker room, again, people in the know have always said that's what they're going to get graded. That has to get fixed. That has to get upgraded. But the only thing that shocked me was Peyton. But overall, 10th, good. But knowing the Walton Penners, they're going to probably want to get up there, a little higher than that. So before we head out today, let's get to a couple of viewer comments. And again, please leave your comments. Anything you guys want on the Broncos, anything else on the NFL, but mainly Broncos. I will get to your comments on later shows, and I'm going to get to a couple of them today. The first one is from Spectre Mad 9180, and he says, happy they want to keep corner McMillan, but they need to keep Riley Moss. Broncos need a wide receiver. 100% they need a wide receiver, I'll say that. Second one I agree with you is I'm glad that they got Jaquan McMillan also. Again, one of, if not the best slot corners in the league. The only thing with Riley Moss, like I said, do I like the player? I do. I think he's an important player. The problem is we drafted a first-round pick in Barron last year, and Riley Moss is going to be a free agent after this season. Cornerbacks get paid a lot of money, especially when, starting cornerbacks really aren't picked up in free agency, good ones. So if we're not going to sign him and we have to deal with other teams in the offseason to get in a battle, it's going to be a lot of money, right? We're spending a lot of money already on Surtain and our defense as a whole, but definitely Surtain opposite of Moss. Again, I have no problem keeping him. I like him. If I can move him for a tradable asset, especially a wide receiver, like you said, and A.J. Brown. We'll get into A.J. Brown probably tomorrow because a couple of reports came out of what Philly's looking for. But Jalen Waddle, if I can move something like that and I can get better on the opposite side of the ball, I'm all in. I'll move him. If not, hey, run it back, bring it back. And you know what? Let him and Barron fight for that outside slot. We know McMillan's going to be the slot. Barron and Moss, best player gets that outside corner opposite of Surtain, and away we go. Comment 2 from Bo Prods. First off, great show. Just found you recently. Thank you, Bo. Thoughts on the Broncos going out and trying to sign George Pickens? I think he'd be one of the best assets for Bo to have, even for the big price tag. Just curious on your thoughts. Yeah, listen, if he is available, right? He's going to get franchise tagged. He got franchise tagged already. Now, can the Cowboys still franchise tag him and trade him? Yes, he's not going to hit the regular free agency. He's tagged already. So we just can't go out and say, here's $18 million and we're going to get him. Do I think he would be perfect for the Broncos and Bo Nix? 100%. I mean, he'd be a home run. I don't know what Dallas wants to do with him. It looks like he's going to re-sign in Dallas. He got franchise tagged. Unless he, puts up a fight, he don't want to be there and they want to trade him, or it looks like it's only going to be a trade, and I just don't know if Dallas wants to do that. But I would love the player, 100%. But thank you for commenting and finding the show. And my third one's going to be from TJ Briggs 303. Our big free agent signing should be Breece Hall. Our first round draft pick should be Kenyon Sadiq. And second round inside linebacker CJ Allen. Dream scenario. So glad to have J-Mac back. Thank you, TJ Briggs. I love your first and second picks, 100%. If you can give me Breece Hall, I'm all in. If I can sign Sadiq, I'm double all in. Because now it solves two issues, tight end and running back. You have CJ Allen in the second. I don't think he's going to go there. He's probably going to go first round. If there's a scenario wherever he falls and we want to trade up, I don't think we're going to see Sadiq at 30 because he tested off the charts at the combine. But listen, if we can get him, I'm all in for that. I don't think Allen in the second round is possible. Allen at 30, maybe. But the Breece Hall, again, tomorrow's the deadline. Today's the deadline. Will he get franchise or transition and that takes him out of free agency? Again, does he not want to be with the Jets? And he knows, and supposedly there's common interest on both sides of Hall and the Broncos. If he was to hit free agency, can the Jets still tag him and trade him? Is that a possibility? I would love to do that. I would love Breece Hall. Breece Hall is my number one running back on the board. I just don't know if he's going to get technically free as a free agent. I think he might get tagged. But again, it's something to watch. Even if he gets tagged later today, doesn't matter. He could still, there could still be a trade in the works, Jets and Broncos. If Breece Hall, isn't happy there and he says, he's not going to sign with the Jets, I would do it. I would take him. That's my first option too. So I'm with you. Running back, tight end, and linebacker. I love it. Add a wide receiver in there, and here's my dream scenario. So let's go. I love it. Guys, I love the comments. Thank you so much for commenting. Again, I love interacting with you guys. But that's going to do it for another edition of Broncos Daily. Check back for another edition. Latest rumors, free agent rumors, possibly some trades in the works. But hey, let's go. We're here. We are here. We are less than 1 week away from the legit start of this offseason with free agency. No more Russell Wilson on the cap money. We got money to spend. We can open up with some more restructures, and hopefully we'll see that over the next couple of days. And let's go, baby. Let's go. The road to Super Bowl 61 starts now. Let's finish this off. Let's get Bo his weapons. Let's get a middle linebacker, and let's go. Come back for another edition of Broncos Daily, and go Broncos.